Before you do anything with the serpentine belt, make sure you take a picture of it, the turns and twist, so when you put it back in place, you're not being struggling. This one is pretty easy. As you can see, it comes from the top there, goes around like that all the way down to this one right here, come back to the tensioner, to the alternator, and go right back. Counter clockwise, like that, like that. Now to take the belt from the compressor, if you can see, you got one belt over here. I'm gonna have to rotate the engine and at the same time slide that back out. Now you're gonna need a number 24 and something plastic or something that is not to push this at the same time that I rotate this clockwise, so you don't damage this. You can find whatever, something plastic not gonna damage the belt. Just slide it on there and push. You gotta push back that way, so when you rotate the engine, the belt just kind of don't follow the track. So as you can see in there, it's basically out. That's what we wanted it. There you go. So as you can see, it's already loose. Now we gotta disconnect this connector right here. Okay, over there, that one. Gotta disconnect that one right there, like that. Now you're gonna have one bolt that it goes on this direction, going to the that side. Is kind of hard to see in there. It's gonna be around here that it grabs this piece to the compressor. So it's right here where my finger is. So you're gonna need a 1/2 inch socket. But look, it has to be like this though. So to get that bolt, you're gonna need a very flat ratchet, sort of like the one I have right now, because if not, you're not gonna have enough space. Once you take that bolt out, the next step, you gotta remove this one here that is holding the compressor, and you gotta remove that one over here. Okay, that's the next step. Now you're gonna need a 1/2 inch socket to take those two bolts. Now the one on the top is this long one over here, and on the bottom part you only gonna have a nut in there like this. And with the top screw, take it off and then put it back in there a little bit. You're gonna need to tap this bolt this way, so you can push the back hook. Just push it back out, because right now the hook is inside there. So you take that off, you're gonna see it's gonna be loose already. So be careful, because you still haven't taken the back connector off yet. So be gentle with it. Now we're taking this line right here, we're taking them off the compressor. Once this is off, you go ahead and slide it out. Be careful, because you still got one more plug in the back. Now you have that plug over there in the back of the compressor. Now that is off, it's easy to disconnect from the top here, because you're doing everything from the top of the engine. After you disconnect it, you go ahead and remove it. Here's what it looks like. The reason why you have to put this bolt in here and hit it with a hammer or with something, I know it's not that much space in there like that. What they're gonna do is this part right here is gonna push it out, because when you tie this, what it do, this bolt will retrieve this inside, so it will lock the compressor from the back. Before you take this compressor, if you don't top this out, it's gonna be hard for you to get it out. So our next step is gonna be, we're gonna empty the oil in this oil compressor to see how much is inside there, and then we're gonna see if we need to add in our new compressor or if the new compressor is okay the way they come. Alright, I think that's it. By moving this part right here, by turning it, you help it to release the oil. So that's it, nothing else is coming. So you can see here, it has less than 1/4. So this tell me that this compressor came with 1/4, and the new compressor that I have come with 1/4 already in there, so I don't need to add more. But if this compressor would give me like half or something like that, I will have to add extra in it. So I'm gonna leave the 1/2 just the way it is and go from there. Okay, this is the new compressor that I have. We're gonna compare it with the old one. You compare it before you do it, so if you can see, they the same. Now, this is what I was telling you. Look at the pin. See how it's pushed back out because I hit it with a hammer. And look how flush this one is. When you tighten the bolt, this pin is gonna start going in. See over there? Is in. So I tap it a little bit and I was able to get it out. If not, you're gonna have to, like, basically in some cases you might gonna have to push the whole thing out. So here's a better visual with the new one. So you compare, they the same as the box. That's more information about it right there. I bought this kit for the seals. I'm gonna replace the seals that goes over here on the other end. Mine as well, since I already took everything apart, so I'm gonna change those with this kit. So you make sure you put oil on the new seals. That's important, so they're not dry like that, and before you install it. So the first thing we gotta do is connect this bottom, and then we're gonna go ahead and install our compressor in. Okay, I'm gonna leave this on for right now until I put everything in place. Okay, after connecting the bottom connector, you go ahead and hook this in here. This port lined up in there. You go ahead and raise it up and slide this long bolt in it. I'm gonna go ahead now to take the plastic from the compressor so I can install the lines that goes in there. So you know that this piece that goes to the compressor, I don't know if you can see it in here. When you uninstall it, you're gonna see it's two pieces. One goes on top of the other one. You see it's like it had a shape that when you put it on, it's supposed to be flat. You can't miss it. One goes on top of the other one and they end up being nice and flat. Once you tie this line right here to the compressor, now it's time to tie the compressor bolts. Now you starting them by hand all the way in, and then you can start using the tools for it. Alright, once you tie the compressor bolts, now you gotta connect the top connector. After you slide it in place and you lock it in place, then you proceed to do a vacuum. I'm not gonna go into details about this. There's videos on YouTube of how to do it. After doing the vacuum, make sure you check your clocks so there's no leaks anywhere in the system, and go to the next step. So next step will be to put the compressor belt. You're gonna rotate the engine, but you want to start from this end right here. You're gonna press it and rotate the engine at the same time, just like this. Eventually it's gonna put pressure in it, and it's just gonna go adjusting all by herself. You just gotta check, make sure the back is lining up on this side. If you can see, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of getting off, so I'm gonna have to go back. There you go. So you gotta pay attention to this side and that side at the same time. Just make sure you guide it. So once you do it, you gotta inspect the belt, make sure everything is correctly, it's not twisted on the bottom or anything. Now for the new serpentine belt, here is the diagram. So this is the setup here. So around that side, goes all the way down to the flywheel, come back to the tensioner. We're gonna leave the alternator one for last. Now you gotta make sure everything is good, the belt is where it needs to be, and that should be it. Now we're gonna add refrigerant into the system. Refer to the owner's manual for your specific car. You can actually see them right over here in this section here. You have a sticker around this section here. You can see the type of refrigerant.